Hey everyone, I'm Cecil Laird.
I'm Jaime and Fuego.
And this is your horror show news with booze.
Half with booze, because
yeah,
I'm taking some meds right now, and so, yeah, I can just caffeine kind of sucks.
I forgot. That was really incongruous, that little opening there.
It's all good. Whatever.
I'll do all the boozing for us. Exactly. Boy, this should be good.
Double down. So we haven't been able to do the show in the last couple weeks because, unfortunately, we had our live streaming capabilities revoked because of a side view of a butt.
No, it wasn't a side view.
It was full on view. I couldn't completely remember it. It was so long since I've even watched that video.
Oh, I've watched it plenty of times.
It was a tattooed butt. I remember that.
I don't know what it was. I don't know.
Or her leg or something. Anyway.
She was tattooed.
Yeah, but yeah, it was a sketch that we did, a comedy sketch, like almost 4 years ago at this point. Came back to bite us in our proverbial butts. So, yes, I did that all by myself. So, this is us basically. This is basically us getting caught up on some of the stories. It was also a holiday week with the 4th, and so there wasn't much to talk about anyway. So this is going to be like a news roundup of all the biggest stuff that we saw over the last couple of weeks, and hopefully we're going to be segueing back to doing this weekly. Onward, horror soldiers.
Yeah, we might actually be doing it. We're going to do at least one in the old style.
Yeah.
When we have time.
Just to see what you
next
guys
weekend
think.
We won't be able to do it because Mad Monster will be going. So no news next weekend, but it'll return the following week.
With us at the desk, probably, right? Just to at least see.
What?
With us at the desk, just to
yeah.
at least
See. Absolutely.
See if you guys like us better in the desk. I don't know.
Who knows? We'll find out.
Indeed.
So, Fuego, what's the first story this week?
The first story is one that we've had a little bit of dialogue about because there was rumors that Don Mancini was going to be doing this TV series continuation of the Child's Play / Chucky film series that he has written all of, directed the last few of, and lo and behold, MGM just announced this past week, so this is a newer bit of information, that they are doing a remake of Child's Play that is going to have nothing to do with the Mancini and Brad Dourif television series, and that apparently they're still going to keep doing their own thing, and yet this MGM thing is going to be its own thing in and of itself, and it's going to center around a highly sophisticated super killer toy, and it's got like a group of friends. It sounds like kind of Stranger Things meets like an evil Siri robot doll coming to life and terrorizing. This sounds stupid as shit to me, but since I know how much you love this series, what do you think, man?
I don't think at all about that. Like, I mean, I think that's stupid. Chucky is Chucky, and he'll always be Chucky, and he should always be Chucky. Yeah, Brad Dourif. But, yeah, I don't know. It doesn't seem like it is a great idea, honestly. The reboot, the sophisticated doll. I mean, it's still gonna look fake. Everyone's still gonna know it's a doll. I mean, I'm half interested in that, but as far as the rest of it, the Siri aspect and all that, I don't care.
Yeah, and there's no complete confirmation about that. That was at least just what THR said the story is at least gravitating towards. But they're trying to push this through with the quickness. They want to start filming in September. It's going to be directed by Lars Klevberg, the guy who did Polaroid, which is still on the shelf and we still haven't seen. So. Yeah.
We did a trailer reaction for that, didn't we?
We did. It looked like Say Cheese and
Oh,
Die
that
from
was the one that I referred to when in Hereditary she tried to burn the book and her arm caught on fire. I referred to something that we had seen where a girl tried to burn the photograph. It was Polaroid. Yeah. Oh, no wonder people didn't know what I was talking about.
Which was supposed to come out last fall and then was delayed till January and then just never
disappeared.
Came out, yeah. Jeez. But this is going to be produced by the same team that did It, which is David Katzenberg and Seth Grahame-Smith. So, I mean, there's at least okay people behind it, but for me, just using the Child's Play name, it almost feels like this doesn't sound like Child's Play to me. So when you're just using a name grab just to get people to check it out, it's not like. See, when I first read about this story, I was thinking, okay, so Full Moon is going to continue having their regular Puppet Master universe, and yet they can still have the Littlest Reich in its own little patch. I don't know. What's why can't I think of it? DC's alternate universe stuff that they do. Elseworlds, yeah. So many different properties I've noticed are going this Elseworlds route. I mean, Halloween is doing it for God's sake. With it's just like Doc Brown on the. So this is when the Halloween timeline split down to this, and this is when it went up to this. I guess Nostalgia Critic probably did it better, but nonetheless, it's like everybody is doing this sort of patched universe, split off Elseworlds, whatever at the time. Puppet Master did it well. Littlest Reich kicked ass, but I'm not hopeful for this.
Well, let's just move on to the next one. I'm still excited that we're getting the Don Mancini TV series, so that's what I'm going to hang my hat on.
Yeah, and that was the last bit of info because they said Universal apparently possesses rights to the television rights, and they're still going to continue doing Dourif movies, they said, too. So this is apparently still going to continue being...
But it's not going to be Durif in the reboot?
No. He has nothing to do with it, and neither does Main Scene.
Okay.
So,
alright.
Yeah, I guess
we'll
that's
see.
Good enough of time as any to jump into this next story. You know so much more about the Spider-Verse than me, so I'm going to toss the baton here to you. It was announced just this past week that Jared Leto is in talks and just about to sign to play Morbius the Living Vampire, who I really only know from the Spider-Man animated series in the 90s. I don't know much else about
So the reason for Morbius is because Marvel wanted a vampire, but the comics code would not allow them to have someone that is undead in the universe. So they came up with Morbius the Living Vampire, who still needed blood to survive, but he was alive, not dead.
It's a nice way to kind of sneak around it.
So stupid. He's a genius. He's a scientific genius in the comics, and he ends up teaming up with Spider-Man more than fighting him over the years.
Kind of an anti-hero, right?
Yeah, exactly. He ended up actually helping during Maximum Carnage, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, Morbius has been around for a while, but he's a living vampire. He's a gaunt guy with long fingernails or with long, gross fingers. I don't know.
Right?
Yeah, and long hair too. It never was super impressive for me. I don't really care about Morbius that much. I mean, it's just another vampire story, except now it's in the Marvel universe, and it's like
the Spider-Verse, the Sony Spider-Verse, actually.
Okay.
Yeah, which is trying to build its own separate side thing. I mean, they were talking about.
Is this part of the Venom? Like, so this is going to be following a Venom. Okay, so what they can do then is they can come up with the Spirits of Vengeance. No, because there was if they do that, then they can relaunch Ghost Rider, and then they can do Spirits of Vengeance, because it was Venom, Ghost Rider, and Morbius that had teamed up to become the Spirits of Vengeance.
Yeah, well, maybe Marvel would be nice and allow Sony, since they're sharing Spider-Man, to share Ghost Rider, since he's more of a horror-centric character. That would.
Does Marvel even have them, or does Sony still have them?
No, Marvel's always had Ghost Rider.
The Ghost Rider movies were Marvel with Nicolas Cage?
Well, it was Marvel before the MCU, remember? Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah, so, and that's why he was on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., was because Marvel got the rights back to the character.
That's right.
So.
All right. Well, yeah, and needless to say, I'm not that excited about it.
So you don't think too much of the Jared Leto casting, then?
No, I don't like Jared Leto.
I love Jared Leto.
No,
Jared
I hate him as the Joker.
He's got the hair grown back because he's doing the 30 Seconds to Mars
I don't like him
again.
doing comic book characters.
Okay.
He'd be a better Morbius than he will be a Joker. I'll say that much.
Okay, well, so if you had to narrow it down to those
Morbius would be Joker. Would be better than Joker.
He's more fitting for that character. Okay, well, you heard it here first from our resident Spider expert, guys. The next one is another one where you can shed more light, because I think you lent me the first 4 issues of this, and I really enjoyed it. I thought it was cool, like the bonding relationship with the dog and everything.
Very quickly, after about issue 12, very quickly settled into a Walking Dead sort of thing, where it's a post-apocalyptic world, except instead of zombies, it's animals. Yeah, and animals that can talk and are now intelligent, but there's still the human infighting, the animal infighting. It started off really good, but it got tropey, and I haven't read since issue 12, because I mean, it's only up to like 18 or something, so I haven't missed that much yet, but it just became. That's not what I was hoping for. I didn't want a post-apocalyptic world where animals ruled. I just wanted to see like a coexistence and see, and like the first issue just made for a really interesting setup, and it's squandered the setup.
You told me.
Yeah, from what I understand. Yeah. But yeah,
that first issue was great too, man.
It was, really but I'm not overly excited. I mean, it could very well do, it could get to Walking Dead level, but then you're going to have a lot of animating to do in the show.
They're going to take the Planet of the Apes route is what they're going to do.
How can you do that, though? How can you do motion capture for dogs and cats?
Well, I guess
goats.
It would probably be more like the Lion King, or the Lion King
Jungle Book
kind of thing.
Where they're going to have to do live action animals with the mouths that move.
Very pricey.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. And unless they just have them like think to humans, but that's not what happens. The animals are able to talk now. So like I don't know. I don't have faith in that. Man, we have a lot of stories to get through. Let's move on.
All right. We will continue the steamrolling process of properties you know way more about than me.
Okay.
Yeah, so the next one...
that's right. This came out
exactly.
too.
Yeah, so there is still an in-development live-action version of Robert Kirkman's Invincible, and yet coming ahead of that apparently is going to be an 8-part R-rated adult animated series of the very violent variety that is going to be from Amazon Studios. I know you have collected, this series just ended, right, after like 15 years?
Yep, yeah. It went on for a long time. It got to issue like 140 something, 130 something, I don't know. But yeah, it finally ended. The whole series wrapped up. It was satisfying. It was great. It labeled itself as the greatest superhero comic in the universe. And I actually agreed because it was the one that even when it came out with like the other books that I was into, DC or Marvel, Invincible I would still read first. Even over Walking Dead, over almost everything, because it was just so good. The artwork is so good.
You started this after Walking Dead, right?
They actually started right about the same time.
Okay.
But it had less issues than Walking Dead.
The photos I've seen of the artwork are gory, dude.
Yeah.
It gave me a The Boys vibe a little bit.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. The story of it is great. It starts off a typical like Spider-Man like superhero book where it's a kid whose dad has powers. He's like the Superman of the world.
Me about this show,
and he like works at a fast food joint. And one day he goes to throw the trash out, and when he throws the trash, it like launches into space. And literally he's just like, finally. And he realizes he has powers, so he takes off, and he's been waiting for him to come. And so he starts to fight crime and stuff like that. And then, surprisingly, at like issue 11, you find out that his dad is actually an alien species that was sent here to prepare the Earth for the alien species takeover. And so Invincible fights his dad and gets beaten to shit, but forces the dad off planet. And like it's so good. It's so aggressive, but it's such a good book. It's easily one of my favorite comics.
And Amazon holds nothing back with some of the content they put together. And so
they could absolutely do this. So if it's an adult animated series
on Amazon Prime,
that's so exciting because the last one of these that I remember getting was Spawn, and I loved that too.
Heck yeah.
On HBO. So
they'll kick ass.
Next!
I'm always down for adult,
You're gonna love it. Invincible's amazing.
Adult violent animated stuff like this.
If you had enough time, if we had both enough time to like read everything we wanted to, it'd be amazing. But if you actually had time, you would love Invincible. You would love Invincible.
Okay, well, now this is one that I can finally talk a little bit about.
Yes.
So, they are whoring out Stranger Things like nobody's business right now, man. I tell you, as far as all the property development and tie-ins and stuff that they're doing, there's a series of original novels that are set to come out later this year ahead of Season 3. There's also the Telltale game that we talked about on our last episode of the news a few weeks ago. Well, lo and behold, Dark Horse Comics signed a multi-year, multi-million-dollar deal to start developing original stories within the Stranger Things universe. First one is going to be coming on your birthday, ironically, on the 26th of September, and it's going to be a 4-issue miniseries all about Will Byers when he was in the Upside Down and what happened when he was there.
Damn. All right.
Which is a story that everybody wants filled in, obviously, and it's got like 3 alternate covers. The painted one looks super dope with the Demogorgon behind him, and the photorealistic, painted...
That's definitely not what the interior art will look like.
No, not at all.
But still, I'm on board. Yeah, I love comics and I love Stranger Things, so it only makes sense for me to get those.
Yeah, and this being the first story that they would go for, I think that's cool. What else could they potentially tackle? More backstory of 11, or I don't know. There's lots of I guess room to mine here, which is kind of cool. It's a very vast universe that I think they've only kind of scratched the surface as far as world building with goes, which is pretty dope. So aside from just knowing when it's coming out and when that first 4-issue series is, stay tuned until September when y'all can get your hands on that.
Yeah, I'm excited. Did they say who the artist is?
They probably did, and I just didn't write it down.
Fair enough. All right, good.
Sorry, great job, Fuego. Great job. Sorry.
That's all right. We'll pay more attention once it comes out. You'll probably see us do a review of it.
Yeah,
so
I would definitely imagine that.
Next
one is actually another one that you will get excited about, at least, and this is going to end our comic information for.
Okay,
this is like a comic block of sorts. So they have been doing these Victor Crowley Hatchet comics for a while now. I haven't got the chance to check them out.
I haven't read them, but I have them.
You have them.
I just actually caught the issue that I missed, so now I can read them.
Okay.
I picked them up along with the Pumpkinhead series, the 5-issue Pumpkinhead series just finished.
Which we reported here on the news
as well. As the 3rd issue of Jeepers Creepers just came out. Yeah. So they're doing comic versions of a lot right now. Yeah.
And these are all like Dynamite properties?
Yep.
Or what?
Yeah, well, I don't know.
Lots of them at least, yeah. They've got their hands on a ton of them. I think it's American something that does these. I can't remember the exact name. It's a smaller imprint, but for the first time, they're actually, on October 31st, going to have Victor Crowley go against a very different type of monster. in this. It's called Hatchet Vengeance, and it's basically going to be about, it almost blends some Pumpkinhead mythology in it, because there's a woman who goes to a witch doctor and wants to have revenge extracted for something that happened to her child, whether it was a kidnapping or killing or whatever, I can't remember. And a creature is raised from the depths of the swamp that Victor
so it was
has
literally,
to fight.
it was meant to be Hatchet versus Pumpkinhead.
Well, it looks more like a swamp thing, kind of like swamp creature, green creature, crazy looking thing.
All right.
Yeah, so
the Swamp Thing never really impressed me.
And of course, there's Hatchet's gonna kill Swamp Thing in this.
Good, yes.
An evil Swamp Thing that Victor Crowley gets to go. And of course, there's a bunch of kids that are caught in the fray between these two big things killing each other and stuff. Yeah, so the teenagers are gonna be getting killed by both of them, I would imagine. It's gonna be like Freddy versus Jason, where they're both killing the kids in the midst of their own little battle royale that's going down. So,
all right.
I don't know. The artwork looked so-so to me, but
fair enough.
Yeah,
that can happen with some of these horror properties being made into comics, unfortunately.
Yeah. But I mean, I'm sure you'll pick it up. It's another October release. There's tons and tons of them. I'm gonna lightning round a few things here at the end that we're not gonna be able to cover. But the next one is I don't think either you or me were the biggest fans of the Nightbreed movie.
No.
Were we? Yeah, based on
I liked the original, and then I watched the director's cut, and it was so slow and boring. I stopped liking the movie.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, based on a Clive Barker novel called Cabal, if I'm not mistaken. A lot of people hold this in such sanctity, I think more so because of the great practical effects, the makeup work, and prosthetic stuff, that this weird underground half-human, half-monster world that the human guy goes into. This was never a movie that really scared me very much, even when I saw the cover as a kid, and I remember when I was in the warehouse video, like I saw the cover, and he was surrounded by creatures that I found much creepier on the cover than the ones we see in the actual movie. So, I don't know, but it's apparently going to be developed into a television series that's going to be airing on the Sci-Fi Channel, and there's really no information beyond the fact that Clive Barker is going to be in a producing role, but he's not going to be like writing episodes or directing anything, but he's at least spearheading the project. He's trying to handpick a British, front runner, a showrunner, I guess you would say. But beyond that, beyond the announcement, which was about a week and a half ago as of this taping, we don't really know too much information. I'm sure we're going to get some crap in the comments for us not being the biggest fans of Nightbreed, but I don't know. I even maybe like digging up the marrow. Well, no, I guess I can't say that. That would be blasphemy.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't say that, but it's not as good as I remembered it, at least the director's cut, which had a lot of extra fluff, so.
Yeah.
Not that excited, but although they might be able to do it more justice, right? As a TV series, like
didn't Barker?
To me, Nightbreed is like an adult Little Monsters.
Yeah, exactly right. You were so right, dude.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So for that aspect, I'm on board, but that aspect alone.
Yeah, maybe they could improve upon the concept with more time to flesh it out, and modern technology. Although it just makes me wonder, how much CG, practical, whatever. So, in any event, the next one is one that I am extremely excited about because it's our lone bit of Stevie K news after steamrolling through so much. I could have mentioned the casting of Rose the Hat for Dr. Sleep, but Cecil and I don't really talk casting very much, so you can check that out at some other time on the Bloodies or the Daily Deads or whatever. But the writing team behind The Quiet Place that did such a tremendous job with that script was on the blacklist for a while. That's what it's called, the blacklist?
Yep.
Yeah. Sat there until it was finally made. John Krasinski, Emily Blunt's one of my favorite movies of the entire year. Fantastically written, and so these guys have been handpicked to expand upon a short story by Stephen King that, if I'm not mistaken, was in Skeleton Crew. You guys will totally take my Hail to Stephen King badge away from me if I'm not correct on that one. But Boogeyman is a very strange story because it focuses on that trope that all of us heard as kids, there's something in my closet, there's something in my closet. And this story is essentially about this guy who is sitting in a psychiatrist's office telling this person who is sitting listening to him about how his children died at the hands of this boogeyman and how his wife doesn't believe him, and it sticks within the gray area of, was there a real monster or is this guy crazy and did he kill his kids? And so they keep it vague enough throughout the predominance of the short story. It makes me wonder how they can make this into a full-length feature. It was made into a $1 baby back in the 80s, and it was about 20 minutes long, so typical anthology of the time, almost like a Tales from the Dark Side kind of thing, but, at least better acting in my estimation. But I don't know. King properties are about a dime a dozen at this point. They seem to be developing just about everything except for the stuff I really want to see, like Doomy Key. So
Get off your horse.
So I know this is not a story that you know anything about really, but does at least the concept of exploring Boogeyman
I like the Boogeyman. Yeah, I like anything Boogeyman ever since
Real Ghostbusters.
Exactly. So
yeah.
Yeah, I'm on board, and I love The Quiet Place, so it makes sense.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, great team there. So yeah, this is one that I'm actually quite stoked about seeing how they can, expand upon this. It's always better to expand on a King story, in my opinion, than to dilute it down and trim fat away. So I'm cool with this approach, and I'm stoked for the team behind it. So
okay, what's next?
Next is going to be the fitting of your tie, because they're about to have their big panel at the San Diego Comic-Con talking all about the 9th season of The Walking Dead, a show that is practically dead at this point, and as they allege is about to reinvent itself with a time jump here for the 9th season of the show. The poster that they just released this past week for the San Diego Comic-Con panel shows Rick in full graybeard mode and everything. It's got Maggie on there. It has Michonne on there. Ironically enough, does not show Mr. Norman Reedus on there, who is going to be the new lead of the show from what we have heard in trades and stuff. But the most interesting tidbit that we've heard approaching this 9th season, besides the fact that both Maggie and Rick are going to be gone from the show and only in a few episodes with all this time jumping. Then again, the more I thought about it, like, they're only going to be on half of the episodes. The way they jump around with characters on The Walking Dead anyway, and have like just an episode about Heath and whatever her name is, and who I can't even remember at this point. They do a lot of jumping between episodes focused solely on specific characters anyway, so as I wrap my head around that, it didn't really bug me quite as much. But Jon Bernthal, none other than Shane, is going to be returning for a confirmed at least one episode, but as I read some additional information, he could be there for as many as 3 episodes, just in, smaller... They don't
so someone's going to be seeing him, then, the way Rick saw Lori for a little bit.
And I wouldn't be surprised if it's not Rick. I mean, is Rick going to see Shane, and he's going to see...
I'm willing to bet that's going to tie in with
Carl
Rick's downfall. I'm willing to bet he's going to see Shane as he's going away. He'll probably see Lori, too, as he's going away.
No, ain't Carl.
I'm sure it's going to be, no, because the kid's gone. Right.
He's gone from the show. So
yeah, because they don't like him anymore.
Maybe they could twist his arm to...
No, they don't like him.
He wasn't supposed to die. He decided to leave the show. And
right, that's what I'm saying. They don't like him, so I don't think they're going to try and write him back in. But they'll probably show Shane and Lori at least.
Yeah, Shane and Lori are together in the afterlife. Sorry, Rick.
Brutal.
Shots fired. I'm sure.
It's exciting to have him come back, but
he's a hell of an actor.
He's great. I'd rather see. I'm excited for the Punisher series.
Yeah, season 2 is about to come.
Yeah, exactly.
And we got to meet him and take a photo with him. Thanks to our co-host Mosh Parker. We love you, Masha.
No show.
Yeah.
All right, next story.
So yeah, look forward to some Shane in season 9, along with a very different Walking Dead show. But the 10th I saved for last because I don't remember the Witches movie very well, and a lot of people give me a lot of crap about it. This was Jim Henson's final movie, Angelica Houston. Terrific practical. All I remember is, didn't they like turn the kid into a rat or something?
A kid was a mouse or something, and then the
witches looked really scary.
The witches turned into little rats.
So I had these rat nose kind of things going on, and boy, were they scary looking. But that's about all I remember. I don't remember the story.
It was a hotel. There was a gathering of witches, and then he ended up trying to kill them all by poisoning the soup that they were all going to eat, or it was actually he poured something in that was going to turn them all into rats and then get them stomped and stuff like that. I can't remember. I'm probably mixing things up about the movie, but I watched it a few times as a kid, and I did not. It's why I don't like Angelica Houston, because she creeped me out.
Yeah, it's widely considered, along with Return to Oz and a few others that we've discussed here in the show, one of the scariest children's movies like ever.
No.
Really? You don't think it's up there?
No.
That's what a lot of people on Bloody allege.
No,
it's not up there with Return to Oz for you?
No, hell no. No, Return to Oz? No.
I don't remember this movie.
That's the devil's butthole, that movie.
I love Return to Oz.
I'm saying as far as evilness goes.
As far as scares go.
Yeah. No, the witch is not. No.
Interesting. Well, maybe this creative team can make it scarier, because Alfonso Cuarón and Guillermo del Toro, buddies from down there in Mexico. Cuarón.
He did the 3rd Harry Potter movie when they turned good.
The best Harry Potter movie, easily. And then he went on to win Oscars. Hell of a director.
Yeah, Gravity. Loved Gravity.
Yeah, he is tremendous. So those
there we go.
Those two are going to be producing, and then it's going to be directed by Robert Zemeckis, of all people.
Okay.
This excites the hell out of me, even if I don't remember the original property quite as well, and have it in that beloved faction that many of you do, along with Labyrinth and Dark Crystal and stuff like that. It's not in that area for me, but just based on the team alone, I mean, goodness, from you know, Back to the Future to even stuff like Death Becomes Her, just the sensibility of Zemeckis, I think, will fit this property really well, based on a Roald Dahl book, which I didn't know. Roald Dahl, yeah, I didn't know it was one of his. You know.
Yep.
BFG, not so much, but
BFG
I mean,
sucked.
wasn't that terrible?
James and the Giant Peach was good.
So we have a damn good team behind all of this, and yeah, that's about all that we know as of this time. No release date, no shoot dates or anything, but it's officially happening. Guillermo was originally supposed to direct it, but he had to step into a producing role because of scheduling conflicts. So nonetheless, all the talents assembled for this and the source material, I think this could be very badass. So I'm all for it, man.
Me too, guys. Well, that's all the stories.
Yeah.
So
we got you caught up. How about them apples?
Indeed.
Applesauce, bitch.
And like we said, next time we will probably try out the old news desk format and see what you guys think of it. You know, our audience has changed substantially since the last time we presented it that way. So we'll see what you think. Since we can't live stream, we're going to try it a couple different ways and see how the response is.
We're sorry, guys.
So thank you very much to our patrons who have been supporting the channel for over a month now. We're actually about to film some new coverage for Patreon. We're going to be doing In the Mouth of Madness. So if you guys are interested in that, click the link to the Patreon down in the description box below and join up. But until next time, I've been Cecil Laird.
Gracias, I've been Jaime and Fuego.
And remember, stay scared.
On frame.
There you go.